Hi everyone, hope you're well. So it's Thursday the 16th of May 2013 and I've had a very good day today. In fact, I'm just recording this now at about 20 past 9 and I'm recording it now because I'm still not finished, but if I don't record it now then I won't get round to recording it. So I'm just currently taking a break. I've been programming all afternoon and I've been programming the prototype, like the digital Flash game version of my dice game so that people can test it out and see what they think. So it's not very fancy, it's just text, there's not even graphics at the moment, as I haven't actually got round to designing the symbol, the actual finalised designs for the symbols for each side of the dice. I know what they're going to be, but I haven't actually designed the actual logos themselves. So anyway, yeah, I didn't manage to actually get a lot done after my vlog last night, so it really spurred me to do stuff today. And as you might have guessed, you can see the current theme from Monday and Tuesday. I just sternly said to myself, no computer games, just get on with, you can play computer games. Because I think I did the same on Monday and Tuesday. I kind of tell myself I can always play computer games this evening afterwards once I'm done, and but actually I never end up feeling like I never actually have the urge to once I get into working on my game, because I find working on my game so fun, and that I don't actually have the urge to play computer games, which is so I get even more work done, really. So I kind of trick myself out of it, trick myself out of wasting time, which is cool. So I'm really, the whole kind of not playing computer games thing is an interesting one, because I'd really like to kind of not play games as much, although obviously it's complicated because I have my gaming YouTube channel, so I still want to do LPs and stuff on that, and so I guess, but if I only play games when I'm recording LPs, that kind of frees up a lot of time. And also, what else? I've done a couple of notes here. One thing is I can just say where it's just for the rest of this year, so I don't feel like I'm giving up, playing lots of games forever. It is complicated because, obviously I'm getting more into like designing and making my own games, so I've got to kind of still be in touch with what's out there. So, but I think whatever I do, I'm not going to like ever completely give up playing computer games. I'm always going to play computer games occasionally, and obviously I'm jumping the gun a bit anyway. Yesterday I slipped up and played computer games all day and didn't get anything done, and that's always the risk when you try to give up something completely. Then the moment you have a little bit of it, you go overboard because So yeah, but I think I might sort of like enforce some rules on myself to become more productive, and yeah, the idea of only playing them in the evening once I've done everything else I want to do is quite a good one, because on some days I will get to the point where I feel like I'm done for the day, and I can go and play a game or whatever I want to do, and on days like this, I end up actually not getting to that point, because I'm enjoying what I'm making so much that I just carry on being productive. So, what have I got? Only play after work, yeah. And, oh yeah, but one thing I'm thinking of doing, which a lot of people who on diets or various things do, is like a cheat day. So lots of people do this on diets where you can have like one cheat day a week where you can eat whatever you want, because you're still eating really well for 6 days out of the week, and so one day out of the week doesn't make that much difference. And although obviously it's not optimum, it would be better if you ate healthily 7 days of the week. That one day a week means that you don't have to give up your favourite food. You can still eat it, but just on one day a week. And so I might do that with computer games. I might say there's one day a week, at the weekend, maybe Sunday, where I can just play computer games all day, and so I don't feel like the other days I can still play games. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, saying the other days I can still play games if I'm recording them for LPs, because that's kind of productive. But any games that I don't want to LP, that I just want to play for fun, I can play them on Sunday, and then the rest of the time I need to work and be productive. So that's my idea anyway. So I might try and do that. And then it's not like I'm giving up playing computer games for fun. I'm just only playing them 1 day a week. Anyway, so yeah, my dice game, I've been working on this Flash version of it all day, and it's nearly finished. The bit I'm programming in now is I'm just making the stealing work. Somebody, actually, let's look up your name. I should have done this just before. But somebody a couple of days ago, on Tuesday, I think it was, when I was, wait a minute, wrong channel. Let's just switch. Excuse me a moment, I'm just flicking through my videos. So, when was it? Dice game. Yes, okay. So, One Megamaxer. Oh, hey dude, how are you? I know who you are. One Megamaxer pointed out that that I should have will tokens be stealable in the game because it evens it up slightly and makes the game less one-sided if somebody's got all the chips halfway through. So yeah, I added that back into the game. It's something I played about with early on, and there was a problem with it, however. But I've corrected that problem. The problem was that there was sort of like, you had every turn you had a chance of like rolling a steal action, which you could then pick to steal something from any player you like. Just steal a point from any player you like, and put it in your collection of chips. But what you have to do is you actually you have to bank your chips to keep them before rolling a bad dice, before rolling a bad symbol that makes you lose. I'm trying not to give away what the game's about still. So the problem with that was I felt it slowed down the game because somebody might be making progress, and then you steal some of their chips, and then if you're a bad player, you then lose those chips, and then so instead of those chips still being in the game, they're kind of back in the bag again. So it's kind of bringing the game backwards, and effectively a game could almost go on forever. I mean, the current state, it could go on forever if people always never manage to actually bank chips, but I think people will learn to over time. But it just slowed the game down. But what I've done now is you can choose to, at the beginning of your turn, you can choose whether you want to take chips from the bag, or if you want to attack another player and take their chips. And then it's actually the same mechanics both times. And it's just a case of whether you're stealing from the bag or stealing from the player. And if you're stealing from another player and you roll a fail, then those chips just go back to the player that you're attacking, and they're still in the game. There's still points in the game. So I'm quite happy with that. And incidentally, that's the mechanic that I've just left to program. I've got the general, all the dice rolling and the points and everything, although it's just like default taking the points from the bag with multiple players. And I've even got in selecting which player or the bag you want to attack, but it remembers which one you've selected, but it just currently has no effect. I'm just tweaking the code in a moment so that you're actually physically taking from a player and or giving the chips back if you fail, instead of always taking them from the bag. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm pretty happy with that. And also something I thought I'd tell you about. I've been programming all day. Some of you might have noticed before when I was doing Ludum Dare, I said I had Get Lucky on loop, and I found this. I found a video on YouTube where someone's looped it for an hour, and I tend to do that a lot when I'm programming. I pick whatever my favourite tune at the time is, and I have it on loop if it's a suitable tune to have on loop. Some things work better than others. But so I always do that because it kind of makes time fly, because it's always the same tune. It's kind of like a psychological hack where you don't really feel time passing. And but I've also saw a site today that someone tweeted, I think it was Alex Day tweeted it, called Coffitivity, and I'll put the link in the description. And it's basically, sometimes I use a website called rainymood.com to kind of chill out, and it's just the sound of rain, and that's quite cool. And it's just nice to have white noise to kind of, is sometimes better than silence, for various productivity and stuff. But there's this new website called Coffitivity, and it has kind of like the general murmur and activity of a coffee shop as a soundtrack, so you can have that on in the background and have it just slightly quieter than your music, so you can just hear it at the same time. And it's actually really good, and it is actually based on scientific research that if you're in a completely silent environment, is not the best for productivity, and if you're in a really noisy environment, it's not the best. But the perfect balance they found in this research is if you're in a kind of busy, or not super busy, but in a kind of coffee shop environment, in that kind of general activity, and it's quite good for if you are sort of like just working alone, like I am at the moment, and you're in just silence, just having it on in the background in my headphones, it gives the feeling that I'm in a kind of, that I'm not just sitting in an empty room. Well, it's not exactly empty, is it? I'm not sitting in a silent room alone, but I'm in a kind of social environment with general, it just makes you feel kind of more relaxed, and it's nice. It's actually really effective. It's a lot more effective than I thought it would be. So anyway, I'll put a link to that. You can check it out for yourself and read all this stuff, because I'm failing to explain it very clearly, but it's actually pretty good. It makes me feel like I'm back at uni, kind of in a creative environment, which is really nice. And so I think that's all I've got to talk about today. I'm going to go back to programming and finishing off this prototype, and then I might share it in these videos, but give it a couple of days, because I think I'll share it with people that I can talk, like friends and people I know who I can talk with directly first, to iron out any kind of big problems, and then when it's a bit more accessible, and like any complicated things that I might have overlooked because I know the game. Once I've made the game a bit more easy to understand, then I'll link it on here so that most people can access it, and then it will just be like minor bugs and things, and eventually feedback on the actual gameplay, which is what it's actually for. So, I'm tired after all that talking. I was also going to talk about Pomodoros, but I'll save that for another time. So anyway, I hope you're well, and I will see you tomorrow.